You know, it's like when you don't want to do something. Rule number one, when you don't want to do something and you're a young man, do it. Because those are the days you get more out of something.
It happened last week.
Yeah.
To me, I went to I was going to go to a closer open mic, and I went to Boston, and I got like 3 shows.
You know, it's the nights you don't want to do something in comedy that somebody calls you and go, hey man, this guy canceled. 20 minutes, I'll give you $75.
Nice.
You were honestly, as a comic, thinking you were going to take the night off. Your girl gets mad as you're getting up. We're going to watch the show on Netflix. I just threw in a pizza. You know, this is the comic's life. So it's so weird how you have to trust everything. You have to trust the universe while you're doing the work. If you just put pictures of you up in front of improvs and with Russell Peters or with Joe Rogan, that, you know, that's not going to help you. It's the fucking work, you know, and that I've always realized, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm doing an audition, whether I'm shooting something, the days I'm like, fuck, how can I get out of this today? Is the day I get the most out of that. And you go, fuck, I'm happy I came today. I'm really happy because what was my option? I was going to sit at home on the computer, looking at fucking sport games, whatever the fuck I do, you know.
Would you say like you're more positive now than you were, I don't know, 20 years ago? Like just in your mindset?
What's that, brother?
Are you more positive than you were like 20 years ago? Like in your mind, like how you think and how, like your mindset?
Well, you're always positively.
You were positive even when stuff wasn't going well?
You got to believe in something. I sit here and I go, what the fuck made me go to Syracuse and landscape? And, you know, first of all, comedy for me was a journey. But I don't know. What was the question?
If you're more positive, because like I think
you're
that's something that I don't think I am positive enough. I think I get in my head. I'm very negative, and I keep hearing about like, you know, how being actual positive will help you get better results. So I'm trying to be more positive, but like my first instinct is to always to go negative.
I'm really sorry to the people watching this. The edible hit me hard as the fucking show came on. I had to sit back. I had to drink some iced tea with no sugar.
Well, we haven't done the intro yet. If you want to take that part out, we can just.
No. I don't give a fuck. I'm okay.
Okay.
It's okay. You know, people get hit hard from time to time. That's what life is about. I just took the bag, counted 6, and nailed it. And
you handled it great.
The other night I ate, I don't know, maybe Friday night or Thursday night. I ate like 5 of them. That's a low night. I had gone out Wednesday to the dojo. I go, I need a little fucking breather, right? So
5 of them is 1,000, by the way, but go on.
And I sit down and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And finally I sit down and I don't know, I'm starting to get it, like that feeling. And my wife by, and she's like, Joey, you have the biggest whitehead on you. And when she went to squeeze it, I had to stop. I'm like, I'm going to pass out. The fucking edible hit me, the fingers on my neck, you know.
You don't like the fingers on your neck? I thought you liked when you pop stuff like that.
No, but not when I got 1,000 milligrams in me and it's going through my body like a fucking
freight train.
You always got to be positive. I mean, you can't look at your shit and go, well, this ain't going to work. I mean, you and I were talking about a comedian earlier on the phone. That motherfucker's positive because he's still going and nobody's hiring him. And there's an admiration from me for that type of stuff. But the admiration is stupidity on that level. Like, that's not, it's past the fucking, you know, nobody's hiring you. it's a
You have to
win-win.
be realistic.
Right. But there's always, I mean, when I was in that basement in Boulder, I think about that basement in Boulder a lot when I think about comedy. Because that's where the magic happened for me.
Was that the Rocky apartment?
That was the Rocky apartment. That year and a half in that apartment, no matter how bad times were, I always knew I was going to do a spot that night. No matter, it didn't matter I was broke. It didn't matter I was out of coke. It didn't matter that I owed the coke dealer money. It didn't matter that I owed the lawyer money. Nothing mattered. I had a set that night, and I wasn't getting paid. Don't think I was getting paid.
But it was usually an open mic, or were you doing real shows?
No, these were like bar shows that my friend would have, and he would hire other comics, but he'd go, I saved 15 minutes for you up front.
Awesome.
I can't pay you, but you'll get a dinner or something like that. At least, you know that shit's going to happen tonight. Cocaine, that's a different story. Maybe somebody will drop a $50 bill on the floor. Maybe
I love when that happens.
Yeah. Maybe somebody will leave their wallet in the bathroom.
It's fair game in there. Well, hey, at least you got to control it.
A couple weeks ago, the godfather of comedy in LA passed away. We haven't spoken about it. Two good things happened in comedy the last 4 weeks. The one bad thing was Rudy Moreno passed.
Right.
Okay. It's all over the internet and whatnot. It took me a couple weeks to deal with it. I called him when he was in the hospital. Obviously, he didn't answer, and maybe a week later, he passed away. But I did call him. He was a great fucking guy. He had, Rudy had rooms, man. And Rudy opened his doors to young comedians like that. Like, hey, Lee, I can't pay you tonight, but it's fucking Shane Gillis and Ari. Do 15 minutes. Come down, get a cheeseburger and some nachos. That's...
I would do that in a second.
What's that? Yeah. And, I'll never forget moving to LA on a fucking Monday night. I went to the store, and then I went to the Laugh Factory Tuesday and stood online outside. And somebody came up to me and they go, man, you're Spanish. Contact Rudy Moreno. This is how I got together with Rudy.
Just someone at the line.
Huh?
Just someone in the line.
No, somebody in the line said, you're Spanish. Mm-hmm. Call Rudy. He has a lot of Latino rooms. Now, I had heard Rudy Moreno's name about 4 times in 2 days. So I hunted his number down. I knew Marilyn Martinez when I got to town.
Okay.
When I saw Marilyn at the store that Wednesday night, I go, talk to me about this Rudy character. She goes, yes, Rudy's got rooms. And he will book you in them. He has the Brave Bull on the weekends. It pays $25, $40, whatever. Call him. I kept calling Rudy. Call him. Call him. Rudy, Joe Diaz. I know Felipe called you. Rudy, Marilyn Martinez. Rudy, Joe Diaz. I know Marilyn called you. I had 3 people call. This motherfucker never called me back. I asked somebody, I go, it's 35 minutes. So one Friday night, I had a late spot at the store.
Okay.
I go down there and see this fucking Rudy character and see why he don't return my fucking numbers of calls. That's how crazy I was. And I didn't go down there with anger in my heart. I was going down there and I go, Rudy, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah. And I went down and I go, Rudy, what the fuck? And he goes, who are you? And I go, Joe Diaz. How many times I got to fucking call you to get a spot? He's like, ah. He started laughing. And that night he put me up. And that became, that was my weekly thing.
And he did it for a long time, right?
He went to the Brave Bull from 97 to about 99. He had that every weekend, plus additional stuff.
Right.
Political stuff. He had fundraisers at Steve's Steakhouse. He had thousands of things when I got to LA, I can't deny that. And Gabriel had the fucking casino on the 710, the Safari Lounge, or it was a fucking zoo in there, all those Spanish guys. I think about them, Willie Barcena, Felipe, Jeff Garcia, Fly. Those guys had rooms, and that was Tuesday through fucking Thursday.
Every week, yeah.
It was amazing. But let's get back to Rudy. Rudy, put me up in that room, and he would always, before I went up, he'd always go, Joey, keep it clean.
Really?
Yeah, and I get off stage, and they go, thanks for keeping it clean. Real fucking job. I go, did they laugh, Rudy? Yeah, but I have a bunch of grandmothers. Fuck them. They laughed. And then my counterpart, Marilyn Martinez, started an all-out fist fight in there from the stage. She was on the stage, and she said something, and somebody told her to shut up, and some big Mexican got up and started pounding on the other Mexican, and he had cousins, and it was like a 10-man fight. They threw tables. They ripped fucking flowers down. And I talked to Marilyn. I go, Marilyn, what happened? And she goes, oh, the funniest was Rudy the next morning, because Rudy had a gig and he wasn't there.
Oh, no.
So he called Marilyn like at 9:01. He's like, Marilyn, what happened? And Marilyn told him, I said something about a cocksucker, and the guy didn't like it because his mother was there, and fucking they started beating on each other and shit.
Jesus.
But Rudy kept having rooms, and Rudy went from the Brave Bull to the other casino, the really nice one. Paid you $100 on Thursday. Put me in there every 4 Thursdays.
Nice.
Pick up a quick yardstick. And then he picked up a strip club. Not really a strip club. He picked up an Irish bar in front of one of those California big-time strip clubs. I don't know what. 21 good-looking ones and one fat one. I don't know if it was that.
Was that the name of the strip club?
No, that's their slogan.
21 good luck. Oh, okay.
I forget. They're like a chain. They were in Seattle. So I go down there one night, like I just told you before in the story with Faith.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have faith, brother. I go down there one night. He calls me up. The room only pays $50. It's you and somebody else, but it was an Irish bar. And they had corned beef and cabbage and blah, blah, blah. And I'll never forget, the corned beef was great. I ate when I got there because that was it. I had gas money and the 50 he was about to give me.
Fuck.
All right. And I'll never forget going on stage. There was maybe 31 people in the audience, maybe 30, maybe 28. They only sat like 50.
Right. And
some guys heckled me. And he was cool. He was just a fucking great white guy heckling me. We kept going back, forth, fuck you, the audience. It was a fun set. It was one of those sets where you don't even do material. You were going to a joke, and he said something, and you just ran with it for 30 minutes. But when I get off the stage, no. The guy threw his wallet at me.
Why?
I don't know. At one point, he goes, you take it. And I had the wallet, and I'm like, how am I going to rob this guy without him seeing me?
From stage.
And I put the wallet in my back pocket. But I looked. As I go, I got to go through a bathroom. I got to go through those little things where men and women, but it's covered. It's covered. And it's like a 20, 30-second walk. If Rudy comes up to me, and Rudy did come up to me, we talked. And then the wallet was already in my pocket. I opened it up, and right there, it was a stack of hundreds. I just took one and gave back the wallet. I'll never forget that. And I drove up to the store like nothing happened. I was happy as a pig and shit. About 3 days later, Rudy called me. Did you take $100 out of that man's wallet?
And what did you say? Fuck no.
Fucking Rudy, you know me. Why would you ask me that? Then like a year later, I told him. He was dying of laughing.
Oh,
rest in peace, Rudy Moreno. Good fucking dude. He's having a few benefits in California. If I wasn't so locked down, I'd shoot out there. But I don't even have the endurance on a 5.5-hour flight yet. I'd have to do something horrible. Like heroin or fucking Gramolda pills or something. I can't.
For what? To survive a flight?
That flight. I'm not used to that yet. Dog, the flights to Austin on the way down are 4 hours.
Right.
And let me tell you, the first 2 times I wanted to jump off the plane, I still had an hour and a half left.
You've been flying for so long. What?
I didn't fly for 2 years, close to 3 years, and you got to work your endurance back up. You just can't get on a 16-hour flight to Europe.
Why? You're sitting down.
I don't know. It's too much.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's just not sitting down. It's sitting down for you because you're a Johnny Mook. I get on a plane. I got activities. I got edibles.
You really do have activities.
I got movies. I got this, that, a vapor pen. I'm hitting it for more. I'm like an octopus. Nicotine gum, the whole fucking chip.
And because when we took flights together, you'd walk back and say hi. But would you walk up and down the aisle every flight?
Every flight. I got to stretch my legs. You got to burn calories. You got to let the legs know. If not, you'll lock up. Next time you get on a plane, you got to get on there with some guy, a Mexican guy, putting you on there with a wheelchair. You got to move around on the plane. You can't just fucking sit there. I try to walk once when everybody's asleep.
Okay.
Nobody goes, hey, Joey. So I walk once, and then every 35 minutes, I get up and make believe I'm getting my luggage. I'm not. I'm just stretching. I go up and down with my calves. The calf is the heart of the leg, is the bottom half. So always
no idea.
Calves on your plane. Yeah. You got to work your calves to keep the circulation going. Take an aspirin before you get on a plane. There's so much. People think you just get on a plane. And then they realize when they land somewhere, I had jet lag because you didn't prepare. Can't drink on a plane. You got to drink water. Take a baby aspirin. You got to eat something healthy. Like, don't go to Popeye's Chicken and then get on a fucking plane. You know what I'm saying?
What will happen?
What do you think happens when you eat Popeye's Chicken? You're going to have to shit that rotten bird out eventually, right? So now you got to shit it on the plane. With your luck and my luck and anybody who listens to this show, they eat Popeye's Chicken. As soon as they sit down and put that seatbelt on, that fucking pigeon comes to life in their stomach.
Oh, I can't. I don't think I've ever shit on a plane.
I don't know. I think I had it one time, but you do. I mean, it's the most embarrassing thing in the world. Because when you look at the people, like when you take a shit on a plane, everybody's going to smell it.
Oh, yeah.
That's number one. Number two, you hate if there's 4 people waiting because they're going to look at you dirty the rest of the fucking flight because they're going to inhale that asshole as soon as they walk in. They're fresh.
And then it's always, every time I go to the bathroom, like everyone's peed on the seat.
Yeah, it's disgusting. You don't want to do that. I wash my hands before I go in. When I hit that button that says flush, that square thing that you got to punch 18 fucking times for it to, it looks like a fucking a coaster for a fucking jug of beer.
Yeah, it does.
Hit it. I wash my hands. Those things are filthy.
Would you ever, Tom just posted about it. I know you're not going to Abu Dhabi, but they have like first class tickets now, planes where you can take showers for like really long flights. Would you ever take a shower on a plane?
It depends. If my balls smell like Abu Dhabi or whatever the fucking desert, yes, I would.
Oh, I would always be worried if what if the water went out? I get so fucked up.
What if you hit a plane, a building when you're taking a shower? It's a horrible way to go. That's too first class for Uncle Joey. I just want to get there. 3-4 hours. I don't need to go 16 in Abu Dhabi and eat whatever the fuck is on that flight for 2 days. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, yeah. You know, they have a lot of curry and hummus.
You got a lot of what?
They have a lot of curry on those planes.
Do they?
I think so. I haven't been.
I would fucking.
They don't let Jews over there.
That's when I fucking take my sneakers and make believe there's a firecracker in them. Plant this fucking thing, cocksuckers. Greetings! It's Tuesday, June the 11th. The check-in is brought to you by Blue Chew. Listen, if you want to be good in the sack, you need Blue Chew. All right? It's plain and simple. I promise. It's going to make your dick harder, and everybody will have more fun. It's the summertime. That's what the summertime's about, right? Listen, you don't know what Blue Chew is? It's an online service that sends ED medicine right to your door. Don't waste time going to the doctor, You could do this from your couch, Jack. These tablets they send are chewable, and they got the same active ingredients as Cialis, Viagra, and Levitra, but cost way less. I love these things. In fact, I might pop one tonight and see what the hell turns up. You know what I'm saying? To get started, you head to bluechew.com, chat with one of their licensed medical providers, and if you're approved, you'll get your prescription back in days. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at bluechew.com. You know what their slogan is? Chew it and do it, Jack. Yeah! Like I said before, we rock hardcore. Anyway, listen, Blue Chew is easy. It comes to your door. Nobody knows what's going on. Not even your grandmother. So rest easy, okay? And it works, guys. It comes in a nice little pouch. You take it with you in your little, your little drug pocket and your jeans above the top there. That's it. That's where you put it. And once you're ready to rock, ding, da, dun, dun, ding, ding, you drop it. Now, again, Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. They want you to meet people, discover your options at bluechew.com. Check-in listeners can get Blue Chew for free. You heard me right on a Tuesday morning, Jack. Ain't nobody giving away nothing for free. But Blue Chew's here to take that misnomer away. Blue Chew is going to give it to you for free when you press in promo code Diaz at checkout, D-I-A-Z, and just pay $5 for shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code Diaz to receive your first month gratis, free. Visit bluechew.com for more details, okay? Important safety information. And I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this show. Let's get this party started, baby boys. Uncle Joey and Lee Syatt are in the house.
Turn off your TVs, run for your lives. It's over. They didn't put you on this planet just to give up. If Uncle Joey could do it, I can rule the world. That's what you got to be thinking.
Welcome back to show.
Oh, my God. Good morning, good afternoon. What up, Mook?
It's good to talk to you, buddy.
Good to talk to you. Very interesting week. Interesting weekend. I didn't do dick. How about you? You did some shows.
I had a couple of good shows. I got to go. I thought about that. I did an open mic in like a dugout, like 1800s basement in Brookline, and that was actually like one of the best open mics. It was just in like a dark basement, but that was fun. And then I went to New Hampshire for the first time, and that was a lot of fun. But it's awesome because people are coming out now, and that's really cool to hear that they listen and that they're coming out.
They come out to support, brother. They know you're working hard. You're not just some fly-by-night motherfucker. And that's big. That's big. At this level, I have a couple of supporters come out. That's big and talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Grow. And then when you become Lee Syatt, they'll fucking say, I knew that motherfucker. And now you have to do their bar mitzvahs for free. And,
I would do their bar mitzvahs.
You would.
But I was, because when you were talking about getting paid, something that I've been thinking about is taking like it's very early on, but taking that part, like getting paid more seriously. Like when people offer me shows, I never ask what the money is.
Some shows you already know, and this is my thing. If you're doing a bar show, and I call you up for the bar show, and you come do it, and I give you $10 gas money, that's cool.
Yeah.
But as soon as I walk in and I see $20 admission, and I see 20 people, now it's $400. You're not paying the headliner all that money. Now, do I want all your money? Not really. We're all in this together. But $25 wouldn't make you or break you.
Right.
Do you follow me? A lot of times you don't even know if they're charging till you get there or till they send you a flyer to put on your social media. So, these are things that you have to decide. There's a lot of guys out there, bookers, that, they do it. They make money and they take all the money and they drive a car. They have a fucking nice car and they have the blonde girlfriend. And meanwhile, you have to borrow your uncle's bike to get to the fucking open mic. So at one point, you got to decide, what are we doing here? Am I doing this for me or for him? I'm going to tell you another point of view on this too. Let's say the guy has a good room and he uses you 3 times a month, and sometimes he gives you the small 10, maybe sometimes he gives you nothing. At one point, you look at it like it's a free show in front of a lot of people. In 10 years, from me doing these shows, I'll come back and he'll have to pay me.
Oh, and
It's
that's like, I don't really care because I'm at a point and that like $25 is not going to break them, but it's also not going to break me. So I don't usually even ask. But like I thought it might be good to get in the habit of it at least.
There was a lady who used to book in Seattle. She passed away years ago. She didn't like me. But I was funny. I had good 25 minutes. I was starting to rock and roll. She still wouldn't book me, but I would still call her and do a guest set at 2 of her clubs every week to annoy her and to let her know I was better than she was.
Yeah, you didn't need to get paid for it.
No. So there's point of views on all that shit. But it's always you're coming back to get yours.
Okay.
Time you become who you're going to become, they're selling real estate anyway. So who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. But I don't know. It was a cool week to do. It's cool to go to different places and see like that my stuff is working. Like especially after a couple of bombs, I start to think like, I'm the worst. Like
it's never over till you turn the lights off. And right now, you're not turning the lights off for anybody. It's a program. It's a cycle. And you asked me if I had confidence, or no, you asked me if I had, what was the word?
Well, positive.
Positive. Dog, I moved to LA at the 6-year mark. I wasn't positive or I wasn't negative. At that point in my life, I was open to anything. I was a couple of years from turning 40. This was, I was divorced. I was in major debt. I had already outgrown Seattle to what I was going to outgrow it. I wasn't headlining, but I was a strong fucking feature. I wasn't even in the headlining mode. I mean, I could do 40, but it wasn't being me. I was far from being a feature when I got to LA, to be honest with you. I was a 25-minute feature in a B room, maybe a C room. I'm being honest here.
Right.
But I looked at where I started, and I looked at where I'd gotten from. And if that doesn't make you positive, nothing will. But more than positive, it's just like a faith. It becomes like a religion. It becomes like a faith. And once you get into the rotation, that's it. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll go farther in the rotation.
And yeah, I guess especially like you didn't really have, like I'm lucky. I have a bunch of comics who I know who can put in words or put me on shows. But like if you're struggling for 20 years, like it really is. It sounds like a lot of faith to keep going.
Faith. It's fucking faith. What made me go to LA? Was it that I was an ego guy? Not at all. I knew who I was. And I heard the rumblings and people of who were the good feature acts, and my name never came up in those. So, I knew who the fuck I was. But here's a good thing. When I got to LA, I was going to leave. Like after the CBS thing went down, if it wasn't for the store, I would have probably left. I was
Wow.
angry. I had beefs in fucking Colorado still. And I was dying to fail, to leave. But it wouldn't. But here's the beauty of it. All those nights I slept in a car, I already had a national commercial under my belt. And I had a film under my belt. Before my car got towed, I had a film and a national commercial under my belt. And here I am sleeping in my car because I just couldn't get it together, the coke, whatever. But little did I know that I was doing something that I had no idea I was doing till years later.
What's that?
I got into the rotation. Now that separated me from an open mic and a professional comic, and it also separated me from an acting class actor to a working actor.
And did it make it easier for you now that you had those things?
Not at all. Not at all. It made it fucking harder now.
Really?
But now you're in the conveyor belt. You're at that conveyor sushi place, and fucking Johnny Woo just put a piece of rice down. Now he's going to go 30 yards until he gets the fish on top. Then he goes another 30, and Madam Wong puts fucking the sauce on top. And now, you follow me?
Yes.
You're in a conveyor belt. When I see somebody doing shit, when I get to the comedy store, I'll say it, and people go, how did you know? Because I saw them in a conveyor belt. And that means at any time. What was the biggest advice I gave you when you were in L.A. and I got mad at you over?
About planning too much?
No. You had a commercial audition.
Okay, yes.
For a fat guy, and you didn't go. Whether you got it or not, paid $300. I stood up to your attitude. You guys paid $300. Doesn't matter, because all I need is 10 comedy club managers to see that.
Okay.
Now that separates you from every other guy in the Boston open mic scene. Not that you're going to walk around with an ego, but if they're smart, they're going to see what I see. I better be cool to this guy because he might just fucking do something.
Right.
There's people who book 2 things and don't know how to handle it.
What do they do?
They lose their mind. They already start demanding things and throwing things, and they walk into the store, with a scarf. I'm up next. And all of a sudden, it backfires. Now that's it. Once you're in the conveyor, I can name 4 people I saw on the conveyor belt. 5. Tiffany Haddish.
Okay.
Ari Shafir. I just had the names when I went into it, but the fucking THC edible knocked me off. Ralphie May.
Wow.
It's hard now that you put me in the spot.
But it sounds like the conveyor belt's like everyone's on it, but like when they're moving really fast on it.
No. You're walking around Hollywood. You're dressing like an actor. You're acting like a comic. You're getting spotted at the Daily Cafe. You do the open mic at the Improv. You work as a waiter somewhere, and you have this weird dream. And I get dreams. Don't fucking get me wrong at all. I still remember going to acting class, and better yet, I still remember going on a party up the corner from the Comedy Store, and there was a bunch of young actors talking about what scenes they were doing at acting class.
And that was the party?
And how lucky they were. And oh my God, you were so fortunate. That's my favorite movie. I didn't go there to do scenes in fucking acting class. Do you follow me? So everybody's perspective is different. When I heard that, I go, oh, so that's where I end up.
If things don't go well?
Yeah, these guys will sit around for 10 years. I'm an actress. I'm an actor. getting callbacks, shit like that, but they're not really working.
Right.
Yeah, they're an act. What have you done that I've seen? Did you see Pacific Blue? And yeah, it's like this guy. Rest in peace. There's a kid who got killed in LA that was on a soap opera.
Okay. Oh yeah, recently.
And he just did 2 movies. He's fucking bartending to make extra money. So for all these people at home that see somebody in a movie and go, "Oh, I'm gonna go borrow $20 from them," don't even think about it. There's no fucking, it's a hustle. But back to what we were talking about. You're in the conveyor belt.
Mm-hmm.
And the conveyor belt does move slow at first. But then it picks up momentum as you get funnier. It picks up momentum. It's like a fucking choo-choo train. It picks up momentum. And then you just work. I worked on comedy for 2 years. I disappeared. Once my apartment got towed, I disappeared. I said, what am I doing here? I'm fighting within myself. I got snort coke in Miami. I went to Miami and hosted and headlined and featured for 6 fucking weeks. And then I went back somewhere else. I went to Syracuse. That's why I was in Syracuse. And I stayed up there doing auditions for The Sopranos and fucking landscaping and cracking jokes up there and doing the fucking club up there. I mean, and then I went on a road for 2 long runs. I went on one from like April till November, maybe October.
And how many times did you go home to LA?
None.
Fuck. Okay.
I would send clothes to Josh Wolf's house, like clothes I would buy on the road to rotate my stock. Socks, underwear, jeans. I had a little baby suitcase that somebody gave me. I think Jimmy Schubert gave me when I moved to LA. Guys, what the fuck?
And
I came back in I came back like October in 99. And I did a couple shows at the store. And I got high with my friend one night, Ralphie. Well, Ralphie didn't get high. We were snorting coke and drinking. And me and my friend were talking about maybe doing a little tour. So I had El Paso. I could always sign on the tour. I had like already 8 or 9 clubs that were on. All I had to do was a matter of calling them, and she was going to feature. So we were coming in as a feature MC fucking group package.
Oh, wow.
That's how good of a relationship I had with these clubs at the time.
I was going to say.
And I fucking, the tour started in El Paso, Texas, 2000, December 31, 1999. And we kept going till fucking May.
And how many nights a week would you have a show?
3 to 4, but we'd always pick something up. And I'm going to tell you something. We started with a 6-week run. It started from El Paso, 2 tribble weeks, I think a week at a club somewhere, and then 2 other tribble weeks. Fuck you, brother. We ended up going to like El Paso, Oregon, Seattle, all through Seattle. I didn't know about my warrant then. We went through Idaho. We went through all that shit. And then we did a club in, Ohio, maybe?
Were you driving to this shit?
We drove from Oregon all the way to Ohio.
Fuck.
And we did Ohio and Michigan and like 3 nights for a booker that we picked up on the road. We ended up in Milwaukee, got a week up at the fucking club in Milwaukee, and we did the college Marquette. It was just, it started with 6 weeks. I ended up with like fucking 13 or something. It was brilliant. It was just fucking brilliant. We ended up 3 weeks in Miami.
Wow. And you didn't have this book? You would just call people and
just call people along the way. And then she went home, and I stayed out another month. You know, and she was a bigger party than I was. But at that time, I'd go for days. She was alcohol, I was drugs. So she burnt out first. She was like, I don't know how you do this. She called me like 2 weeks later. She's like, Doug, what the fuck was that? We went everywhere, and everywhere we went, we picked up booze, drugs, weed. Every night was a different flavor. Like, you didn't know what we were going to do, especially on the triple runs.
And then how would you wake up and drive like 12 hours that day if you were so fucked up the night before?
I think on the nights we had the long drives, we kind of kept it easy.
Okay, but
one of us would go off the deep end and the other one had a cover.
Right.
Nights we really went crazy and we had like a 4-hour drive. We were trained to do that, asleep by that point. I remember till this day, she'll always, like when I see her, she'll bring up the tour. I just spoke to her the other day because
that's awesome.
I told her to go to Austin. I go to Austin and do a week down there. That's a great open mic place. Plus, you like Texas. You lived in Texas for 20 years. Go to Houston, do 2 things, and take a bus to Austin and walk up and down. I'll get you spots at Red Band's Club and then walk up and down. That's fun for somebody who's 35. I mean, she's a little older than 35, but she's single. She has no kids. What the fuck?
Right.
But, yeah.
How much better? I know you said you were partying, but like, how much better did you get after like a 2-month fucking tour?
It's not a tour, man. It's a fucking summer camp and focused comedy. All you're focused on is writing new jokes, trying them, sleeping, getting in a car, and driving to the next locale. And, at that point, that was one of the time, like, you got to go against your word every once in a while. You got to be hypocritical. I was doing Sundays then because there was I wasn't going back to LA. What do I care? Sunday's just an extra $50, $75 we pick up. I still remember we picked up a fucking coffee shop and they paid us like $150. We split it like
nice.
Night, and they had like 30 people and they were all drinking tea and coffee and eating like fucking crumpets. And
how did they feel about you?
Oh, at that time I was raw, I was raw and uncensored. But that was a hell of a little fucking run. And she used to drink. So every night I didn't know what was going on with her. Like, I go back to my room and all of a sudden I get a call from the hotel manager. This girl, she's down here looking for you. I have to come down. Yeah, she was the other comedian. Open up her door, put her in there, fucking close the door. But I loved her for it because she was free as shit. Every once in a while, I'd lose her and I'd knock on the door and she'd have a guy in there or 2 guys or 2 chicks and they would party and I'd go, all right.
That's awesome.
And we wrote and we listened to seed comedy records the whole drive. Everybody. Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, fucking Kathleen Madigan, Ron White, anybody who had a CD then. We would stop at record stores and look for Lenny Bruce. And I don't even know what happened to those CDs. I just left them in a car. That's what we were doing then. We would just listen to comedy CDs, making notes, asking ourselves why that was funny. Stop that. Why is that joke funny?
Right.
The delivery, we would listen to Brian Regan, one of the Regans. It was the main Regan. A lot of Regan, a lot of Kathleen Madigan, a lot of fucking Lenny Bruce. We bought Bob Newhart.
Fuck. That's all. Yeah, because if you're driving from Oregon to Ohio, you have a lot of time.
That's a lot of time. No. What Oregon to Ohio? We flew to Miami. We parked the car in Chicago. We parked the car. When we got Miami, we said, what are we going to do? Nothing. You want to drive all the way to Houston or LA? No. All right. Fuck it. Pack a bag. We'll buy bikinis down there.
That's
I thought she
awesome.
was going to bail then. But no, she was like, fuck it. I'm going down there. And she did the black room against, she didn't want to do it because Monday and Tuesday it was black night at the Improv. And I'd make her go up there. They'd throw chicken wings at her and shit at the bar. They were throwing chicken wings. Bro, that was the coldest room in the country. I did okay. I skated on my pants because I used to dance and act like mumbo jumbo. But one night I went out with material and ate a bag of dicks, and it took me about 3 years to go back there, dog. Because when they're cold-blooded, they're cold-blooded. They would boo you and then start hitting the glass with spoons.
Fuck. That's pretty intense. How long would you have? Like 5 minutes?
You had about 4 minutes before they made up their fucking mind with you.
Oh my God.
And I saw shitty comics bomb, but I saw a great comics bomb in there too, because they had no time for that shit. And they didn't like certain brothers. If you went in there trying to be smart and stuff, they would throw shit at you. They wanted, it's fucking country. It's fucking Miami. It's, they don't want you going in there. Well, I'm half black and half Japanese. Boo!
I've heard like other comics have talked about like Miami being a crazy place to do stand-up.
It's very crazy, but enjoyable. The attention, there's cocaine. That means your attention span is very minimal.
Really? Is that okay?
I got a blonde sitting next to me. I gave her a bump and I already see her one eye wiggling. You know what I'm saying? She's got a mini skirt on. And
it's time to go.
It's time to go. So I'm giving you like 6 minutes. Or when I finish this fucking nachos with the flies on it, and then I figure out what I'm going to do. But those towns, man, there's cocaine. Listen, Miami, my South Beach, comedy's never worked in South Beach, even though they've tried it. Investors, money, it doesn't work. Green Bay, there's so many fucking places that it just doesn't work, But that's one of the places that you better get to it. A lot of people don't do well in Miami.
And is it because there's like too much to do? Like, what do you think? What do you think it is about Miami?
It's just I worked down there with about 5 guys that hated it and bombed every show. In fact, I worked there with a comic, God rest his soul. He didn't make it past Friday night.
Was he headlining or featuring?
Headliners would quit there.
Damn.
Dog, that was a cold-blooded club. Till this day, it's a very cold-blooded club.
They quit mid the weekend.
You better bring the fucking, the malanga juice, Jack. Fact. Like, it took me a long time to get to that room. The first week I did room, I did good because I had a buy because I was Cuban. But that shit wore off quickly. And now I had to fucking practice what I preach. And that was one of the rooms that made me better because it sucked who you are out. They don't want to hear all this fucking chitter chatter. What's with the chitter chatter? Suck my dick. Well, let's go back home. That's the idea down there. It's like I don't know. The nightlife is like a sped up New York like it used to be. But that doesn't, as a comic, you don't worry about that. You take those changes. You go down there and go, fuck it. I'm going to come in your mouth on this fucking stage. And you try, and you know what? You're going to die. Listen, here's the beauty about comedy. You never know when you're going to die. It's like life.
Right.
I know I'm going to quit working when I'm 65. If I'm a cop, if I'm a lawyer, they're going to push me out. They're going to buy me out, whatever. But with comedy, it ain't over till the fat lady fucking sings. It ain't over till the priest throws that fucking dirt on you and your grandmother starts crying. He was a good boy.
Then it's over.
Then it's over, dog. You know what I'm talking about?
But
What do you want?
what do you say?
What do you want from me? I'm just trying to fucking convey the message here. Dog, I am as high as fuck.
How much did you take tonight?
1,200. And no mushrooms. I just went a cappella tonight with the fucking thing. But hold on real quick. I got to fucking talk to these people about Onnit. So I'm going to take a second here, talk to you guys about Onnit, and we'll be back to close out the show, all right? I'll be back. Hey, did you miss the Onnit mid-month sale? Is it over yet? I think you got a couple days. If not, never fear. Uncle Joey's here. You understand me? Onnit is rocking and rolling. You want to be on point in the summer. Alpha Brain, whether you take the new one is tremendous. But if you can't take the new one, that powdered stuff they have, you mix it with water and drink it. Woo! Pure fuego. Like the pre-workout, pure fuego. Listen, I don't know if you're into Onnit or not. I do the cycle Alpha Brain every 2 or 3 months just to get my mind tip-top magoo. And I'm back, Jack. I'm playing the drums with no lights on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. You know us. And on it, we got Shroom Tech Immune, Shroom Tech Sport. Listen, there's a variety of things. I can't hook you up with kettlebells or hoops that you fly around in. But as far as supplements are concerned, Uncle Joey's here. I'm going to get you 10% off when you press in code CHURCH, CHURCH. It's that easy. Go to onnit.com and support the check-in, all right? I love you. I'm thinking about you always, so take care of yourselves. It's good for the mind. Get in shape. Do something with yourself. You can't sit there and watch podcasts all day, all right? Get some Onnit, lift some weights, go for a walk. Do something. Walk the dog. Break a window. I don't know. And now back to the check-in. All right, I'm back. Don't forget to hit Onnit. They're fucking tremendous. I love the Alpha Brain. Anyway, a lot of shit going on, Lee. You know what thing in the fucking world that I want to talk to you about? Like this fucking, everybody with the felon thing. I'm seeing all these felon shirts all of a sudden, you know.
Really?
And, yeah. You know, people like felon. You know what the beautiful thing is, man? I never thought like a felon. I got in trouble. I paid my debt to society. And after that, I didn't even talk about it for years. For years, I didn't talk about it to nobody. Unless they brought it, you know. But no, I didn't talk about it. I made believe like it never happened. I didn't sign on for felony programs. I didn't sign on for felony grants at the time. I didn't disable myself. And that was the state of mind I took. I chose that state of mind, you know. But now, you know, everybody's calling Trump a felon. I see more boycotted, more T-shirts with felon on it. And I'm like, look at Trump. He don't even give a fuck. Like people are sitting there going, how's a felon going to, and listen, I'm not a politician. I'm not talking about politics here. I'm not here to upset nobody on a Tuesday morning. I'm just saying, think about it. Like everybody's like, he just puts that fucking thing back and he's ready for war. He's like Uncle Joey. Did you have a chance? I want to bring this up for the younger comics and for people in general. Did you have a younger chance to watch Ari on Bert Kreischer?
On Broadcast?
Yes.
I haven't yet.
It's a very interesting podcast. There was a segment on it where they spoke about what's going on in the comedy world and how we're acting as comics. That includes me, you know, with the videos and the constant touring and the sales and this and that. And he was just talking about how a lot of us have lost our minds with it. I'm happy I caught myself. I caught myself one morning when I was going out. It was raining at 7 in the morning, and I wanted to go out and smoke dope in the Periscope.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really happened to me, Lee. It was a little bit before the pandemic, just about that, like a week away, that I went back inside and I go, and all of a sudden I go, I'm really thinking that these people are at home waiting for this. That's not good. And then a couple of weeks later, you know, when the pandemic hit, I was looking at all these videos and I'm smoking and I'm smoking and I'm smoking. And they were simple videos. And that's not what Ari was talking about. Ari was talking about, like, you know, what happened to us. Like we started taking private planes and everybody's got a watch and everybody's got 10 speed cars. And I told Ari, we spoke about it after the podcast. And I go, Ari, I got two things. And this is important for the fucking young comics coming up, because there's so much pressure on you for social media and what to put on there and how to put it on there. And I got to be honest with you. Don't get lost in Instagram, a picture with Joe Rogan or with Shane Gillis or with Bert or with me or with anybody. And don't confuse those things for working. It really bothers me that everybody wants a picture with an improv behind them. And that settles their problems. Do you know what I'm saying? And it takes more than that to become a comic. It takes fucking years. And one day you're going to look at that picture and go, oh, was I stupid? I might as well put a picture of me and my family up. Me and my dog up. Yeah, if something good happens in your life and you're selling tickets, you want to publicize it. I fucking, you know, you got to take a shot on everything. But focus, and I told Ari, this was it. As comedians, we forgot our mission.
What's the mission?
What's the mission? What's the square root of a date?
Getting laid.
A piece of ass, right?
Okay.
What's the square root of becoming a comedian?
Getting laughs?
Being funny. Way before you become Eddie Murphy, and way before you become a fucking influencer, and way before the fuck you're doing, you got to prove to these people that you know what the fuck you're talking about, and that you put the work in, and that you're fucking funny. That's all they want to know about you. Everything else is bullshit. These people that think because they get a tattoo on their forehead and they put a fucking hoodie on when they're smoking a cigarette, that doesn't make you funnier at all. I got shocking fucking news for you. That doesn't make you funnier. You're just doing what fucking anybody else did with a cigarette, you know? So I think there's a lot of pressure on you. But I always want you to remember every day and write this in your writing notebook, because I did. Never forget the mission of what we're doing here. It's not about fucking, you know. Never forget the fucking mission of what we're doing here. Now, there's a sidekick to that also. Because of the internet, the people who follow us, the people who come to our shows, the people who support us are also very vocal. It's a different type of fan.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I was a fan of Richard Pryor, but I was also 12, 11, 10. I was a fan of Richard Pryor. I had like 3 or 4 of his albums, but I couldn't go to one of his shows. So I was a fan without being a fan.
Right.
Do you follow me? And now, when you're a fan, I hate that fucking word with all my heart. I've always hated that fucking word. When we're a part of your universe and you're a part of ours, it's heavy duty to be a fucking fan. You're watching videos, you're fucking
listening to podcasts,
you're buying t-shirts. When I was a fan of Richard Pryor, he didn't even have a website. You know, I didn't know who he was. I used to have to look behind the albums for fan club information. You know, and you send a letter and $5. His manager took that $5. I never heard nothing back from those motherfuckers. So now the person who's interested in you, and I gave the world everything for me. I gave them my soul those years in the church. I told you everything you needed to fucking know. The first 10 years of podcasting are out there, and they're fucking great because nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah. I had no, like,
nobody gave a fuck. You know, and
everybody
gives a fuck. You follow me? So Dog, I'm really grateful to you for coming into my life at that time because we put a fucking show together that was tremendous. Like I told Theo, it took me 2 years to get back to normal. Like it was like being on a ship for 5 years, fighting people in the Black Sea and shit, between the edibles and everything else, and just what was going on in my life. My wife, my child. You know, a child got brought into my life in 2013. That was part of it too. In the middle of everything. You were right there. In the middle of fucking everything, my wife gets knocked up. And I'm like, oh, at least it was now. At least it wasn't when we were living in a fucking apartment, splitting cans of tuna with the cat. You know, so I'm grateful for all that shit. But it was a different fucking time. People have no idea. Like when I left there, I'm like, I can never do another 3-hour podcast. We were doing 7-hour podcasts. We were getting there at 6 and leaving there at 1. Fucked up. Well, I was leaving at 1. You would just put a pillow and a blanket on and stay there. And then I call you next morning. What up? I woke up at 7:15 in the morning. I'm sorry. I put the tuck. I don't give a fuck. We did our job, Jack.
I wish I brought a blanket and a pillow. I can't tell you how many nights I would wake up with the lights still on,
and
the door was open. We weren't in a good area. We were like a scare. Like people could have definitely seen.
And now they would have definitely fucking killed us.
Oh yeah.
Now they would have fucking definitely killed us. But you know, and that's what it is. That I think that a lot of people, as a comedian, and I did for a while. But I'm happy I did the podcast. I'm till this day, if you want to call me a podcast comic, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm very grateful I did the podcast because to me, it was like when you watch a boxer on HBO and 6 weeks before the boxer fights, they give you a half hour with him every week and he gives you glimpses of his life, of what he goes through. You thought he was out there jumping up and down, hanging out with his buddies. Nah. This motherfucker's training, then he takes his mother to dialysis, then his nephew's blind. You know, it's a whole fucking day of activities. And meanwhile, you thought he was at the strip club making it rain.
But do you agree that like comics need something more than just stand up to like really make it like, or I know some people can just do stand up, but like I know you said you don't regret. Why would you regret the podcast? The podcast?
No, because I hear negative things about podcast comedians. And I listen, I paid my dues at the store. I'm a 20-year Marine over there. And yeah, I'm a podcast comic, but I'm happy because it's the only way I would have gotten to the next level. It wouldn't have been with my stand-up. It would have been, I was funny. Always remember one thing. Everybody goes for being funny. And at the end of the day, you got to realize there's 400 funny motherfuckers out there that are trained assassins in laughter. That's a big pool, but nobody's had your life. And you have to figure out how to put it out there, whether it's with stand-up. Don't go out there and tell me, my grandmother was born in Israel and she got bit by malaria. Show, I'm eating a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about bugs and shit. But you know what I'm saying. Whatever it takes for you to get your soul out there. So people don't buy into the character. For me, I always felt that it wasn't a character. What I talk about off stage is what I talk about on stage. You know this. It's like, you know. But for some people, they go up there and that's an alias or somebody else. A lot of the guys I go up there go up as themselves. But there's a lot of people who it is an act. When you meet them later on, they don't drink. They don't do this. They don't, you know. So it's kind of, I can never do that. I can never go up in there last week when I came back. No, if it didn't happen, I'm not going to talk about it. But that's a complete different other fucking level. You know what I'm saying, motherfucker?
But it's true. It's like I'm still blown away that there's people talking shit about podcast comics.
I don't know. It's never
anyone.
Honest to God, it's never made me come home and slam the computer. Not.
Oh, I know you don't care.
But the category of that was just it was a weird thing. And whatever it takes. It feeds my wife. It feeds me. Takes care of my friends. We have a good time. The church was a different animal altogether. It was a different time. You know, we have friends of ours that keep telling us, put it back together and move to Austin and do it. It was a spot in time. I couldn't, if I did one of those on Monday, I couldn't do those 2 a week now, Monday and Wednesday. With everything, there's no fucking way. I can't walk in here on a fucking Tuesday morning looking like Zombo like I was then. She was 4. She didn't know a difference, what I smelled like or looked like or what I was on, But because we did it, man. It was fucking great. Now weren't we fucking 44 and over last week? We only got like 12,000 views.
Because we got age restricted again.
Yeah.
I don't know where we'd put the podcast because YouTube, the stuff we're talking about now is so tame compared to what we were talking about.
I mean, I can't say what I want to say the first 5 minutes. I can't fucking, if I show my nutsack now, like that day when the line went down, the Twitch, remember we're doing the benefit and the fucking Twitch went down? They were all hype on it. Yeah, Twitch is doing the thing. I put my nutsack out. Those motherfuckers abandoned ship. And then somebody else came on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of okay with you not having your nutsack out anymore.
Out of our fucking minds. And let me tell you, let me put in, you want perspective, cocksucker?
Sure.
Mercy graduates grammar school this Friday, 5th grade.
I'm so excited for her.
Why are you excited? Who gives a fuck? What I'm talking about here is this is what's happened. Can you believe we started the church and we got thrown out of the office because my wife was knocked up?
Yeah, almost immediately. And
now she's going into fucking whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Middle school? Yeah, middle school.
Yeah.
Listen, when I was a kid, 8th grade, if you were Spanish and you couldn't fucking get it together, you did left back like 2 times in the 7th grade, and they put you in the pilot program. They fucking helicoptered you to the high school. They gave you basic classes, woodwork, how to paint the fence, and they gave you 4 years of that, and they pushed you out of there quicker than anything. They had an army recruiter talking to you every other week. They had immigration, But look, that's perspective. Perspective for me is this has never happened before. For me, I've never had a family this long in my life. Perspective is I get to see her graduate her first level. I got 2 more, 3 more. If I make 3 more, I'm good. But right now, I'll take the 1. You know what I'm saying? You got to take things in little fucking doses. And it's great. I'm expecting a great week here. It's Father's Day on Sunday. Thursday, I go to the 25th anniversary of The Sopranos.
Oh, nice.
City. Yeah, there's a party. I'm trying to see if I can take my daughter. Because if she comes, we could abandon ship at 10. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go to no fucking shing-ding and take pictures and say hello and make believe I'm somebody I'm not. I could just take my daughter, walk the red carpet with her, fucking watch the documentary, watch the other thing, and get in the car, and everybody's happy. Stop and get a slice in the city about 10:15 when the slices are on fire. You know what I'm saying?
But you're going to leave at 10 either way.
Leave a what?
You want to leave at 10 either way.
I mean, if it's a sleeping pill, you know me. Mercy, meet me in the front. Daddy's got to go to the bathroom,
She's having a good time. Like, we got to go. Do you have that talk with her? Like, hey, I'll just give you the signal. Because you would have that talk with me.
No, I squeeze her hand. I give a look. She knows. She's 11. She already knows. She's already gotten the Diaz experience. We got to take 2 steps to the rear and get out of here. She's like, Dad, we don't even sit long enough to eat dinner sometimes. Fuck no. We'll talk in the car. If you want to talk to me in the car. There's no bugs. Anyway, I love you, cocksucker.
I love you, buddy.
Have a great week, and we'll talk during the week. Stay black.
Okay.
The check-in is brought to you by Blue Chew. Listen, if you want to be good in the sack, you need Blue Chew. All right, it's plain and simple. I promise it's going to make your dick harder and everybody will have more fun. It's the summertime. That's what the summertime's about, right? Listen, you don't know what Blue Chew is? It's an online service that sends ED medicine right to your door. Don't waste time going to the doctor. You could do this from your couch, Jack. These tablets they send are chewable, and they got the same active ingredients as Cialis, Viagra, and Levitra, but cost way less. I love these things. In fact, I might pop one tonight and see what the hell turns up. You know what I'm saying? To get started, you head to bluechew.com, chat with one of their licensed medical providers, and if you're approved, you'll get your prescription back in days. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at bluechew.com. You know what their slogan is? Chew it and do it, Jack. Yeah! Like I said before, we rock hardcore. Anyway, listen, Blue Chew is easy. It comes to your door. Nobody knows what's going on. Not even your grandmother. So rest easy, okay? And it works, guys. It comes in a nice little pouch. You take it with you in your little, your little drug pocket and your jeans above the top there. That's it. That's where you put it. And once you're ready to rock, ding, da, dun, dun, ding, ding, you drop it. Now, again, Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. They want you to meet people, discover your options at bluechew.com. Check-in listeners can get Blue Chew for free. You heard me right on a Tuesday morning, Jack. Ain't nobody giving away nothing for free. But Blue Chew's here to take that misnomer away. Blue Chew is going to give it to you for free when you press in promo code Diaz at checkout, D-I-A-Z, and just pay $5 for shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code Diaz to receive your first month gratis, free. Visit bluechew.com for more details, okay? Important safety information. And I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this show.